everyone. It's good to be with you again for the recording of this week's blog. So let's just get right into it. The title of this week's blog is called Self-Love, the Magical Elixir for What Ails Us. So the topic of self-love seems to come up over and over for many of us. So why do you think that is so? Well, for me, I was taught to believe that it's quote unquote better to give than to receive. I thought that loving myself was selfish or self-absorbed. If I tried to share my accomplishments because I was proud of them, I was made to feel as if I was boasting, I was conceited or full of myself. However, through my Catholic education, I was also taught to love thy neighbor as thyself. And that, to me, seemed like an oxymoron. If I don't love myself wholly and completely, then I can't love my neighbor that way either. I can't tell you how many times I heard the words, "Who do you think you are?" from my father, as if who I am was not as great as my innocent young mind thought, just like we all are. And my father was a good man, but he learned those phrases and attitudes from his own childhood. And I don't believe that he was trying to hurt me. I think what I said or did, and we're all kids, it'll be a pain in the butt. So I think what I said or I did triggered something in him, and those words were his automatic response. For the record, my childhood was wonderful, memorable, and fun. My parents were both only children, and they endured monstrously difficult childhoods. Yet they raised 8 children around the parameters of love, forgiveness, and unity. They did a terrific job, and the best they could. Yet like the rest of us, they were not perfect. So continue hearing such responses from my family to my innate knowingness of my true magnificence, along with my desire to shine my light as brightly as I could, was confusing. I didn't understand why anyone wouldn't want me or any of us to shine our light, our inner light, for the whole world to see and enjoy. Yet the truth is that here on the earth plane, the earth is governed by a different set of truths. In the spirit world, there's no competition, there's no judgment or hierarchy. We are all guided to understand that each and every one of us is perfect, magnificent, and whole. By divine right, we are entitled to all the abundance we need and want in order to carry out our soul's mission. We don't have to change who we are as a soul. Why? Well, it's because our Creator constructed each of our energetic makeups uniquely and intricately. Our spiritual energetic DNA, so to speak, is pure divine love. Yet no soul ever created has exactly the same energetic configuration. How miraculous is that? No one is better than anyone else. Yet we are each vitally necessary to the health and wellness of the one energy that binds us to each other. The brighter we shine individually, the more brilliantly we all shine together. In this world, there is competition, judgment, scarcity. There's a hierarchy that is defined by social or political status, educational level, and in some cultures, gender, and or by monetary worth. Many, but not all, who achieve the higher levels look down upon or judge those below them as if they're less than or not worthy of their time or energy. Yet there are many, many more who do see the equality and the value of all lives, no matter how much wealth, power, intellect, or notoriety one might have. If we learned early in our lives that it's wonderful and necessary to love and care for ourselves first, if we want to love and care for others. Self-love would be a given. If we were also taught that we can't give away what we don't have, we would have also learned to take time regularly, to turn our attention inward, to really see what we need or desire in order to stay healthy, strong, and joyful. We would have known and understood that it's not selfish to take time for ourselves, to recharge our batteries to optimum power. By nurturing and caring for our own needs first, then we would have an abundance of energy to care for and love others, the world, and to complete our soul's loving mission. Due to my misguided belief system from my childhood, I inadvertently decided that to be loved by others, it was safer to make myself small and needy. I unconsciously turned myself inside out to please others at the expense of being my purely authentic and fantastical self. I became a doormat, and as a result, I drew people into my life, like my ex-husband, who knew they could control me and use me for their own personal needs or self-gratification. My self-esteem weakened further as I gave away more and more of my power to him and others in position of authority until the real me was lost in a forest of despair and hopelessness. Thankfully, through my own deep inner work and the assistance from my team of light, I found my way back out of the darkness of the forest and into the open spaces of my remembrance and infinite light. And in retrospect, I wish I had discovered that wisdom sooner, but I do know that everything I went through was necessary for me to be where I am today. And I share my story with you not in an attempt to bemoan my own personal choices, but in hopes that I can help those of you who may be lost in your own dark jungle of self-deprecation, confusion, or immobility. And this is important. The point of power is always in the present moment. We are all destined to come to a place where we truly own our superpowers, love ourselves without condition, and never, never for a moment stop shining our beautiful light. Of course, we all have our outer Clark Kent moments when we are going about our everyday lives and taking care of business. However, underneath our necessary need and desire to function in the very material world, we are always wearing our colorful cape and our flashy superpower attire, emboldened with a huge S for self-love. And our ethereal phone booth it's always right beside us, so that we can discard our dark glasses and our professional or earthly attire representing our physical self and step into the power and transcendence of our infinite divine self. Let us never underestimate our vast and endless power. It's our heritage and divine right as a soul to have access to and to utilize every bit of it in order to change the world and anchor more love onto our presently very troubled planet. And none of that will be possible unless we learn to love ourselves unconditionally. All of our faults, perceived weaknesses, shortcomings, and mortal imperfections are but an illusion created by a world that forgot to put on its rose-colored glasses made of self-love. However, we don't have to forget to put on ours. There is love everywhere we look, if we choose to see it. But without self-love as our inner vision, the beauty and light within others and the world will be obscured from our view. We will most likely only see the fear and darkness. So let today be the day that we all go deeper within our soul's temple and unlock the treasure box housing that last bit of our spiritual superpowers and retrieve not some, but all of our unending and infinite self-love. May today be the day that we remember who we really, really are and will always be a glorious, holy, and beautiful being of infinite, transcendent love and brilliant light. So I hope you all enjoyed that, this blog. This is a really important one for me because I really do think that one of the lessons I came here to learn, among other things that I had to do, but one of the lessons was to learn that you can't look outside. I couldn't look outside myself for love to complete me. If I did that without going within first and finding the love that I am inside, then I wouldn't line up for the kind of love that I really wanted to love. We need to learn how to love ourselves first in everything. Our lives will not work out the way we want them to work out unless we love ourselves first. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is that when I talk about my childhood, we all have our own perceptions and interpretations of what happened to us as children growing up. And I have 7 siblings. And over the years, as we talk about different things that happened, we all have a different perception or interpretation of the circumstances, what happened, what it meant. So when I talk about it, this is how I perceived my childhood and how I felt and how it affected me and how it affected the choices that I made in my life. So I think that's really important to note. And also that, as I said, my childhood was really very, very wonderful. And there was a lot of love in my home. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about was that when we talk about the fact that we don't have to change who we are, we're talking about from a soul perspective. Our souls were created perfect. They evolve, but evolve in order to learn how to use our power that we were inherited from our Creator God, and to use that power for goodness and love and bringing in more love wherever we go. That doesn't mean, however, that we might need to change some behaviors that are preventing us from gaining full access to the wisdom, the knowledge, and the truth from our soul or from our team of light. So if we have addictions or whatever kind of addictions to drugs and alcohol, to working too much, working out too much, whatever is keeping our life out of balance, we may need to make some changes. We may need to start meditating or connecting with a better group of people who understand our need and desire to be guided on a spiritual path. That's what we want to do. So, when I just wanted to make sure that everyone understood that it doesn't mean we may not need to change some circumstances in our lives in order to be more joyful and to live the life that we came here to live. Okay, so that's it for me today. So I hope you enjoyed it again, and I hope everyone has a wonderful week ahead. Namaste.